Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. Cardano has worked out pretty well. It has worked out pretty much as expected. In the last couple of weeks, I've been telling you that we can expect lower prices, that the 75-cent level is a very important support level that was reached. Let's take a look at what I said here in one of the last videos, which was on the 3rd of May, so only 2 days ago. Slight increase in volume here on the 4-hour chart, but nothing too significant actually. Ideally, what we want to happen is to move up, retest, and then go up. Yeah, this is the ideal scenario in a 4-hour candle, in a 4-hour scenario. We now, however, have the second 4-hour candle outside of the channel, and I probably see just now that I have to adjust this slightly, make it a little bit more accurate. Oh, probably more like that. I've got the touch point here. Got touch points here, and no, based on this, it is, well, you could argue this is currently the first, depending on how you draw it, the first or second candle that is sticking its head out of this channel. Yeah, looking like the second one, 4-hour candle, which is good. And we can see here a series of green candles moving up. What would be the next target? Let's zoom out. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of volume, so this is provided we get some more volume in, otherwise it will probably just move sideways and die down. But it's something to keep an eye on, absolutely. And if we have the VPVR back on the chart, where will be the resistance? Well, you can see resistance is directly already in this area here. So it's this area of previous volume, this area of trade where we will have a lot of resistance. So there's a lot of resistance along the way that Cardano would need to get through. Here, especially here around the 80-cent mark. If it manages to get above that, then we have here next area. Also, as you can see here on the left-hand side, you had resistance here, you had resistance here, you had support resistance here. So there's a lot going on here, and this would be at 84 cents. So really, there's a lot of resistance along the way. That is the message I can give you. And until we move above 91 cents, any sort of short-term upside I won't take seriously. Okay, let's take a look where we actually did get to. So, okay, you can see it. We actually moved up here yesterday. We had then additional volume. That is what we needed. We saw that breakout here of that descending channel. It's not really a descending wedge, it's more a descending channel. That breakout did happen. And we also moved to that one, well, very, very, very close to that 91 cent or 91.5 cent level that I mentioned. So we did get all the way up to 90.5 cents. And here we found then some resistance pretty much here at the previous swing high. We didn't quite get to the 91.5 cent level. Why did I say 91.5? Well, this is an important level because if you take a look here at the chart, this is an area where we had a lot of resistance here before. We had here support, we had resistance here, and there was just a lot of activity around that area. Now what I just show you is the 96-cent level. No, the 96-cent level as well, but here you can see exactly at the 91.5 here, resistance here. So just as I said, just a lot of activity here, support. So that's why I meant that there is a lot of resistance along the way as well. We're not even above the 91.5 cent level. The next one then would be that 96 cent level, which is the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. But the thing is, these are always interesting trade setups. So when you have a pattern like that and you see a breakout, and then volume comes in, this is a potential trade setup, of course. And I can only give you momentary snapshots of the chart in this video. But if you then see something changing and we just broke out, that could be an opportunity. But it is for everybody who just wants to do short-term trading. Everybody has a different approach, I guess. So at the moment, because I had a few people yesterday already saying I was wrong and everything. They said, why am I wrong? And then I had the answers, well, you said you go down to 55 cents. Well, yeah, the view still hasn't changed. I mean, we always need to distinguish between my short-term view that I give you and the medium-term view. In various Cardano videos in the last few days, I also told you that we were now getting close to that 75-cent level. If we drop below that, then the view is to get into this target area, and I think we will get below that at some point here. for now, what we can see here in the chart is that this was very, very thin ice, but we broke out of this channel. And as I always say, short-term upside is always possible, even here to that 91.5 cent level, but that is where we found resistance already there, okay? So this is the level above which, if we get above that, then we can look at the further price increases in the next instance all the way up to 125, but even that would probably not make me change my scenario here. So short-term upside always possible, but to look at really the short-term noise, you really need to be active in the charts. You need to wait for breakouts, real trade setups. What I always try to communicate, because it's important for a lot of people as well, is my medium-term view, and the medium-term view is still that we are going to come down in this area. That is to a degree related to the Bitcoin view that, you know, for Bitcoin, I've been telling you for last week as well, that we are going to see some upside, ideally all the way up to to a minimum of 41.5K. So that of course has a positive effect on ADA as well. But overall, what I can see here in the chart at the moment, because technically the downtrend isn't over yet, we have not yet made a significant swing high. We have not made a higher low. We've actually come down to the low again, which is not a bullish sign. And what we can see here at the moment in the chart is as well, at the moment at least, only a 3-wave move. So what this is at the moment, this could still become a 5-wave move, but at the moment this is still just an A, B, C, from which you could then, in a next move, in a 5-wave move, come down like that. Pretty much what I do expect for Bitcoin, but I would expect even higher prices for Bitcoin before we get the reversal. The reason also here for Cardano was that Cardano was just massively oversold. Yeah. One more reason why Cardano found resistance, and by the way, that bullish crossover took place here. Yeah. Cardano managed to get to the 50 level of the RSI on the daily. Told you yesterday that this is a very important level on the Cardano chart, the 50 level on the daily RSI. It found so often resistance here when it could not move up on a sustainable basis. And I suppose that is why it is currently facing here some resistance, because it did get all the way up to 50, faces resistance now, and is coming down a little bit. So we need to wait, and that is just what the market has to decide now. We need to see how bullish the market is about Cardano, and if it can get above these levels. As long as it gets above these levels, personally, I would not consider a short-term long trade. One short-term long trade opportunity was obviously down here when I showed you the potential breakout here of that channel, or when we pulled back to that support line. Now, of course, we are very close to resistance. So what I would personally do is to wait until we break through all of these resistance levels, or at least if we break above the 97 cent level, which is the 61.8% Fibonacci level. That is a well, that is the most relevant Fibonacci level, and as long as we are below that, you know, we're very close to resistance, and going long just below resistance just has a lot of risks, and I personally wouldn't do it. I would wait until we break above now one of these levels, as we did it here. Yeah, break above one of, or ideally all of these levels all the way up to $1.01, then retest, and then we have probably the scope to move all the way up to 125. This is all still not changing my scenario, because the same way that I told you here when we moved up, that the downside potential is still very much there. And as long as we get above 125 or even 163, which is a better confirmation, the downside potential and that target area is still very much real. So when you watch these videos, please always understand my differentiation between a short-term price target, which in this case was 91.5 cents, where until we get above that, you know, I'm not even considering further price increases, or more significant or more serious price increases. So this pretty much doesn't change anything. And the medium-term target, where I think that not only because of Bitcoin, but also because of the Elliott wave count here, that we should get, the ideal target is just a 55 cent level. Yeah, that's sort of the medium-term view. What we also need to understand, that Cardano did everything it needs to do in the correction. So theoretically, it could start at any point to the upside, but for now, the signals by the buyers are just too weak, and that upside was expected in line with the expectation for Bitcoin to move into its target area, because all cryptos are sort of related. This doesn't mean they all move the same way, but it means, of course, if I expect a 15% increase for Bitcoin, it is of course likely that the other altcoins also go up. And I did mention that here in the last few Cardano videos. And so far it will now get very interesting if we get above that 91.5 cent level. And then the next one is 97 cents. And only from here, I would consider more price increases. Ideally, you wait even until the $1.01 level. And then 126 is the next important one. That is the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. And to the downside, very important support levels, 78 and 75 cents. Okay, so hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.